Hey, thanks for your interest in the product review. Now, this is a requested feature because reviews from parents are incredibly valuable. So if you're like me, you Google reviews for everything you're thinking of buying. So as a business, you want good quality reviews to be the first thing that people see when they search. Bad ones turn people away, and no reviews also tend to turn people away because they think no one's using it, so it mustn't be any good. So for this, basically, you just need to send me your product and I will use it and review it. You'll get 1 to 2 search optimized videos on YouTube and Facebook, about 20 minutes in total, an evergreen blog post on Fearless Homeschool with promotion via email, plus automated consistent promotion on social media, 5 photos of your product in use, and you'll be able to use copies of the photos and the videos as you choose. So I currently have 3 daughters. Gabrielle is about to turn 16 and Holly and Asher are about to turn 15. And I also have 2 sons. Rex is 13 and Forrest is 11. Now, if you're interested in this, please contact me first to discuss it. I will be honest, so it needs to be a product that we can actually use. We do cover most stages because of Rex's syndrome. He's at about a 7 to 8-year-old level in most subjects, but anything below that, like preschool resources, aren't something we can use. We are a pretty low-tech family and we don't do video game style resources, although we do use online programs like Massive Open Online Courses and Khan Academy. And we are secular, so anything heavily faith-based is out as well. So if your products fit onto my OK list, keep watching. So I thought I'd put an example in here and we could look at Story of the World. So I've spent not a great deal of time putting this together, and I realised the other day I left my tripod in New Zealand. So I will have fancier camera angles showing the inside of the books more comprehensively instead of holding them up, and I'll include photos of activities and such in the video for yours, but this gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. Okay, so today I'm going to show you through Story of the World and tell you how we've been using it so you can see if it's right for you. So this is published by the Well-Trained Mind, who sponsored the recent Australian Homeschooling Summit and were lovely enough to send me this to use and review. Now this is a classical resource and it follows history chronologically. The one I have is the first volume, The Ancient World, and it covers from the first recorded human history to the end of the Roman Empire. It's meant to be for quite young children, but I think kids up to about age 12 can enjoy this, especially if they haven't done much history. So I did virtually no history at school and I have learned a lot from this. And most importantly, I found it interesting along the way because I don't like boring resources. Now, it comes in 2 parts. This part is a storybook, and then there's also an activity book. So as well as these, you can get an audiobook of the storybook, which would be great for car trips and to put on while playing Lego, colouring, all that sort of stuff. The storybook is the only essential part, but the activity book is fantastic. Having both means that everything is done for you. So we love that this is story-based. It's just like having a great read aloud book. So for each chapter, I just read aloud the first section, and then I follow up with the review questions and the narration about that section, which is all included in the activity book. You get the example questions and the example answers. Now this is a really great way to get kids putting ideas into their own words, into complete sentences, and it also helps them to learn how to summarize and make some better speakers. And it's great preparation for writing, because if you can put your ideas into sentences verbally, it makes writing them down much less stressful. You've already done the first step of the process. So when we're finished reading the chapter, we then do the map work. So every chapter has a map included and you draw things, the kids draw things on it depending on what they've learned about in the chapter. So I photocopied this beforehand, all ready to go, or you can buy the PDF version and print it out. There's also usually a colouring page. So for this one, we've got a scary looking cyclops, and I copy that onto the back of the map and they colour while I read. So that's a really great way to keep my boys occupied while they listen, because otherwise they tend to fidget and flop around a fair bit. Now, once we've done the reading, questions and map work, we take a look at the activities. So there are some really great activities in this. The mummified chicken is famous. We did an archaeological dig in our sandpit where the boys marked off squares and dug up artefacts I'd planted, like cutlery and toys and random everyday things. And they told me about our culture based on them, which actually got pretty funny. So as an example, in this chapter about Greece, there are instructions for writing your name in Greek letters, for making a couple of traditional Greek instruments, making a weaving loom, an Olympic wreath, and having a Greek-style Olympic feast, complete with recipes and games. So there's lots and lots of activities to do in each chapter, and you can do as many or as few as you are interested in. Now, there's also book lists for each chapter for further reading. Admittedly, I'm a bit disorganised and don't tend to have these ready on time, but I have gotten some really great ideas from it, and we've just read them as they've arrived in the mail or in our library holds. So worldview-wise, Story of the World is Christian, but it's fairly gently so. So it begins with the human story, so it doesn't talk about evolution or creation at all. It does present Bible stories as fact, but we've found it pretty easy as a secular family to discuss them as creation stories in the same bucket as myths from other cultures that it discusses. So the only negative I can find is that Australian curriculum-wise, it doesn't match up at all. It's chronological, where the Australian curriculum seems to start off with the child at the centre, with stuff like family trees and local history for the same age. My kids were never really interested in that at that age. They wanted pyramids and tombs and gladiators and fun stuff like that. So if you live in a state that requires you to adhere to the national curriculum and report on that, you might have to get a bit creative, but it's worth it. So if I were in that situation, I would skim the Australian curriculum stuff, unless there was interest from the kids, of course, and then I would use Story of the World to learn history well. So overall, I can highly recommend this. It's interesting, it's comprehensive, it's really easy for me as a parent to organise and present, which is a huge plus. It provides a lot of resources and things to do, but they're not all mandatory. So if I don't feel like buying certain supplies, or if I think that something wouldn't appeal to us, we just don't do it. There's plenty more stuff available. So if you're interested, links are below. There's great samples of all the books on the site, so download them, try them out, and if you like it as much as we do, get the complete setup and have fun with it. So if you want to ask any more questions, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them for you. Thank you for watching. Okay, so like I said, that's pretty rough. I will polish yours a lot more and I will make it more in depth, but that gives you a bit of an idea of what you'll get. So like I said, there's the videos and the blog post. They'll all be search optimized and consistently promoted by myself, plus the photos. And although I can't guarantee or quantify stuff like this, I do keep you in mind. So if I see someone in a group asking about your product or the subject it covers, I'll share my review with them. So I hope you think that's a great idea. If you're keen to chat about a plan for your review, then email me. We can chat on the phone or Zoom or whatever you prefer and see what we can come up with. So there is no need to commit until we've done this. We'll make sure it's a good fit for both of us and that we both like the plan before committing. But I am only offering 2 reviews and the first people to book them will get them. So if you're interested, please don't delay in contacting me. Okay, thanks for watching and I hope to hear from you very soon.